It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair faking foe. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated folk. You came prepared, now get ready for the show. Yo, 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 what up, friends? Welcome back. Ball and Buds is back at it again. Yes, with another episode of NBA Talk. We are going to review the NBA Finals. Yes, you know what? I'll just try to get to that in a little bit. Let me introduce my special guest first. Joining me here at Ball and Buds, as always, on my NBA Talk with me, my brother from Audible Sports Podcast, Bobby G. And in honor of the Knicks, little Wu-Tang for you. Bing bong, ding dong, Bobby Digital like King Kong. That's for Bobby G. How you doing, my brother?
You know, in the words of the great American philosopher Curtis Jackson, it's like when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I could have been right. So I'm still right because I could have been wrong. But like it says, I believe I was right.
That's a good tease. I like that. We will see exactly what he's talking about just in a few minutes. Let them know where they can find you, my brother.
Oh, right up underneath that. YouTube at Game Time Tour 216 and at YouTube at the Audible Podcast. Thursdays and Friday night. That's Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And of course, ESPN Jacksonville 690 Radio AM on Thursdays from 4 to 6 p.m.
Yeah, you can't forget that. Can't forget. Yeah. Don't bury the lead, as they say in the news. Next up from the Mid Post NBA podcast on IG at Mid Post Pod, but he can tell you that when he comes on right now, our brother Desmond Powell. And for his Wu-Tang introduction, I am going to use my favorite song of all time just because I know every word from Forever. And no, we're not going to get copyrighted, so I'll only give you a little bit. Abomatomically, Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't be telling me how Desmond Powell be dropping these mockeries. There we go, brother.
I love it. I love it. It's great to be with y'all again to talk the finals and everything like that. Of course, if you're watching or listening, you can find me at Desmond Powell _ on Twitter, Instagram, at MidPostPod on the same platforms, and the 19 Media Group YouTube channel. Shout out to the home team, 19 Media Group. Every Tuesday, the Mid-Post Podcast episodes drop. Unless you're paying attention this week, I did drop early on Sunday because of the finals. So, yeah. We're here for the finals, man. Let's get it.
So you know what that means when you subscribe at these channels like Ball and Buds on YouTube, like Audible Podcast, Audible Sports on YouTube, like 19 Media Group on YouTube. You want to hit that notification bell so you know every time we go live. You don't miss no shows when you do that. So make sure you tap in with everybody here. Linktree up there at the top. That QR code will take you Ball and Buds. It'll have all our social medias there. Subscribe on Ball and Buds. Follow on Instagram, and we are everywhere. So make sure you tap in and hit that like button if you're watching. We really appreciate you tuning in. Everybody tuning in today. It's going to be a very exciting show. So yeah, let's kick this bad boy off.
Interesting fact, though, Omar. Since you're on your Wu-Tang stuff.
Yes. Oh, yes. Please.
Wu-Tang's first album. You know, Enter the Wu, 36 Chambers.
Yes.
It's one of the few albums, the edited version or the clean version actually sounds better than the explicit version. Remember, because RZA, you know, was enamored in the kung fu karate lifestyle. All the curse words were covered up by fighting sounds. Yes. So when you listen to it, it just gives you that next level of immersion into the album.
True. Yes. You know, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I really never thought about that, but I'm realizing it now. Yes, you are completely correct. What? Wait a second. I thought the reason that he had Okay, that's weird. I remember the first time. This is a funny story. I remember the first time I listened to Wu-Tang Enter the 36 Chambers. Rest in power to my brother Tony Nylander. Anybody watching today, his funeral is this Friday. So please, if you want to pay your respects, it'll be this Friday. It's on my Facebook. Check it out. But anyways, it was me and him. His dad was taking us to a Little League football game versus Chantilly, and he had the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers on a tape, on a cassette tape, and he popped it in. And I was like, why is there no, I was wondering why there was no curse words. And he told me it was the edited version. And I was like, I just thought his dad wouldn't let him get the one with curse words this whole time. That's hilarious. That's great. No, that's awesome. No, you're right. I mean, RZA can do a lot of things with music, especially production wise, and using that kung fu. I mean, integrate what you have, as your storyline for your group. Shout out Hannah P2 2011. Hello to you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And everybody else tuning in. Yeah. Drop us comments, ask questions throughout the show. Make sure you're interactive. Everybody watching, hit that like button for us. Helps out in the algorithm. I see a bunch of people piling in now. So yeah, on that note, let me give you the rest of my intro. The NBA the finals are over, y'all. The New York Knicks, I'm going to have to get through this. As a Boston Celtics fan, I'm just going to have to power through and dig deep and say the words. Tonight, New York is no longer living in the 36 chambers of basketball suffering. The Knicks have finally brought the crown back to the Garden, winning their first NBA championship in 53 years, the first since 1973. And all season long, they play protect your neck basketball. Defense, toughness, pressure, no fear, even though they got down often, and we'll talk about that. From the opening tip to the final buzzer, they played until they triumphed. And in the finals, with that iron flag planted into the ground for the state of New York in a full-blown, effort to grab that cream because cash rules everything around me, they prove that this wasn't only built for Cuban links. They proved with Liquid Swords execution that Wu-Tang Forever is a celebration, and now the Knicks can as well celebrate forever. How about that, gentlemen? How'd you like them apples?
There you go.
There we go.
Wu-Tang.
There we
Throw
go.
your W's up. Yes. So anyways, just a little Wu-Tang knowledge there. My friend Canteen. Shout out. Y'all tune into the Bottom Line Sports Canteen Flow Hot Rod. Says that he's tuned in with a nice pour of Bullet. Awesome. Yeah, y'all tune in Bottom Line Sports Facebook group, good sports group. Chauncey, I thought that said Chauncey Billups. I was about to, woo, boy, I thought I had ascended. I thought we done hit superstardom. I said, tell me Chauncey Billups is watching my show? Get out of here. That's crazy. No. Chauncey Billings, 55381, says, I am happy for the Knicks. I remember those 90 teams, Jordan stopping them every year. So you're happy for them. Hey, look, man, I have a bunch of friends that are Knicks fans, unfortunately, and I hit all of them up, and I said it's still fuck the Knicks. But I love you, so congratulations. So, look, you got. It's good for the NBA, though, right, gentlemen? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about first before we get deep into it. Just give me your overall thoughts on the Knicks, New York winning this championship. Bobby G, what you got?
It played out exactly how I thought it would. The Knicks were the hottest team coming into the series. Don't get me wrong, the Spurs were playing good basketball as well, but just schematically, the Knicks coaching execution was on par, and I thought it would be a battle of experience versus inexperience, and that's kind of what you saw game to game. I thought the Knicks matched up well with what the Spurs wanted to do. They were able to contain Wemby for the most part, and they took the series in 5, like I suspected.
Yes, you did predict that. We will give you your props right now on this show. I like giving people their props. Johnny Munoz was on my show, former UFC fighter, and he predicted the Cyril Gahn upset. So I like to give props where it's due. And Bobby G predicted that the Knicks would win this series over the San Antonio Spurs, which, to be fair, Not a lot of people outside of New York were definitely doing for sure. I know although it was more because I hate the Knicks, picked the Spurs, but that was more out of spite. Desmond, talk to us about how you feel about New York getting their first championship in 53 years.
Yeah, I love it. It was well deserved, and I think a lot of it is what Bobby G said, and especially when we talked last time. Like, I mean, everything he said pretty much came true. Like, I think for me to pick the Spurs in 6 at the time, like, I think I trusted in their defense a lot more. And to be honest, as young as they were, I was really impressed with how sustainable their defense was for a series, which is really hard to do versus the best team to come out the East this year. And I thought that, they had their gaps sometimes and their mistakes, but defensively they were really consistent. But to our Wu-Tang theme today, I mean,
yes,
it's a shame. It's a shame that Wemby went to Shaolin and couldn't handle Shaolin, New York. I mean,
I love it.
I didn't see that coming, man. I didn't see that coming. But to Bobby's point, like, the Knicks were just on another level. I said on my show, they were a team. The Spurs had not seen a team like the Knicks in the playoffs. They were pretty much every team they faced all into one. They had some of the depth and defense that you saw with the Blazers, but the Blazers didn't have shooting. They have a lot of the offensive core kind of things going on that the Minnesota Timberwolves had, but the Timberwolves weren't nearly as connected in the half court as the Knicks showed to be. And then, of course, with the Oklahoma City Thunder, I mean, that was just a different series where they didn't have as many offensive options they could go to in the half court. So I really thought the Knicks wasted no time showing that they were the better team. And how crazy is it, y'all, that the Spurs were up 72% of the NBA Finals and they lose in 5 games?
Say it louder for the people in the back that cannot hear you, Desmond. What the hell is going on? They were down every game. They put themselves into a hole consistently, game after game after game, and made this championship way harder than it needed to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It was just their first 12 to 20 minutes were some of their best basketball. And then everything after that, again, I think that was the biggest thing, if I'm not mistaken, that Bobby said last time. Like, the Knicks always had an answer, and the Spurs ran out of answers, and we saw that throughout the rest of the game. No matter what, Mike Brown seemed to always have something up his sleeve, or Jalen Brunson just said, forget y'all, I'm about to hit this crazy shot. Like, the Spurs didn't have none of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to point to what Canteen is saying here, because this is something Bobby G just brought up and I wanted to talk about. The reason the Spurs lost this is because they have an inexperienced coach and a young team. It's not that they are a bad team. They were a great team all season long, but they won most of the time off of youth and vigor and inexperience that just let them play recklessly to win a lot of games. Wemby also got a lot of calls that they weren't necessarily giving him in the finals to every game. So the Spurs were inexperienced here, and I think that's what cost them the series. Bobby, you talked about that. Tell us more what you think about that.
I mean, there's experience and depth. Like I said this also, the Spurs, there's no problem about it. The Spurs are the deepest team in the NBA.
They've got a great roster. Not saying anything about that.
Again, I felt the New York Knicks had more effective depth. What does that mean?
Okay.
I'm not guessing what I'm getting from Dylan Harper or Cornette or Vassell or Keldon. I don't need who's going to step up this game. The Knicks, I know if Landry Shamet gets in this game, he's going to hit 2 threes. I know Josh Hart is going to grab 11 rebounds. I know, like, you can stamp what you're going to get from every New York Knick that plays in the game. That's effective depth. It's not a guessing game. And that's essentially what came back to bite them.
Which points back to the youth of them.
Right. Just like a De'Aaron Fox. That layup is going to haunt him for the rest of his career.
My God.
And all we've heard is, he's the veteran. But we forget the biggest game De'Aaron Fox has played in his career, aside from this year playoffs, was a first round Game 7 against the Warriors. That's it. So again, he's inexperienced when it comes to this part. Where the Knicks, this team has been building for the last 4 seasons for this moment. They took their bumps against the Hawks. They took their bumps against the Bucks. They took their bumps against the Pacers to get to this moment. So they've been, not only that, you've had a coach who's been taking his bumps since 2007. Mm-hmm. Oh, and guess what? He was also raised in the pop tree. You know what I mean? So,
and this is that layup here you were talking about. And we've got to talk about it. De'Aaron Fox, former clutch player of the year, was not clutch at all this series, made tons of mistakes for a veteran. Desmond, talk to us.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate to see, man. I think, to Bobby's point, the finals are just different. Like, all season we've been saying that, wow, especially in the playoffs, right? Like, wow, this young team just finds a way to put an end to the make a lot of what we've seen in the NBA become a myth, right? Like, oh, there's no such thing as inexperience no more. Not in today's NBA. Like, these guys are playing above their age. But then they ran into the Knicks, and it looked an entirely different story. Now, the thing I will say about De'Aaron Fox is that, again, it's part of that bad side of basketball. Like, he did take a lot of shots that we've seen him make in Sacramento. And unfortunately, they just didn't fall. And whether that was his injuries or fatigue down the stretch, we don't know those things. But that was the big thing that stood out to me, was that if you really, it's funny because not a lot of people were paying attention to the Kings, but like, if you were paying attention to the Kings, you've seen De'Aaron Fox make a lot of those shots that he did take, especially in Game 5. But I think the thing about it is that he did settle for a lot of threes. And so it was some of those things where I was just like, he just doesn't look the same. Like, and I think it's that series fatigue. Sometimes it just affects you mentally just as much as it does physically.
No, that's a really great point. And you're not wrong about the shots that he took in Sacramento. He's not a different player. So you're not wrong about that. Bobby G, you were going to say something?
No, I'm saying the only other thing, I mean, he was dealing with the high ankle sprain, and that's tough, especially in basketball. But to Desmond's points, a lot of those mistakes had nothing to do with the ankle sprain. That layup, that's just unsmart basketball.
Right. Why not just pull it out and just take the foul? Right.
But you don't know what you don't know, right?
I also think he just got kind of like caught, and he was like, I'm not sure, which way do I want to, and he just tried to go for it. Not the right decision, but yeah.
But guess what? When he's in that position again, next playoffs,
we'll talk about that.
Watch the say, oh, I've been here before. Let me go ahead and grab this ball and go to the corner, and we're gonna play keep away for a couple seconds till we get five. It's and I grew up in an era where you had to learn how to win. You had to wait your turn. And this is just the Spurs.
Great point.
Learning how to win and waiting their turn.
I agree completely. And we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll talk about Fox and if he'll even have that chance to do what Bobby just said. Canteen thinks he's fish food. This is another thing I want to point to, and I actually talked about this with Canteen on my show last week because he brought it up. And Bobby G, you were on the show with Mel last offseason when we did our season review, when I said, and we made a lot of jokes about the Knicks, but I said that, and I want to pat myself on the back for this, I said that Mike Brown was the missing piece for the New York Knicks to win a championship. I said that this is exactly what they needed, was to bring him in and he would take them over the top, and he did exactly that. Let's talk about Mike Brown. What do y'all think about him?
Good.
I'm actually not, same with you, I'm not surprised. Like, this is a guy who, and I know I've said, like, to take on the responsibility of the New York Knicks is a huge deal. And the fact that he didn't shy away from it and still stood 10 toes when they were in the media saying, hey, Mikal Bridges ain't worth them picks. You need to figure out what's going on with Karl-Anthony Towns. He shouldn't be telling you that he doesn't know what to do. Like, and he had to look the media in the face and be accountable for those things. And he just said, like, hey, I know I had Knicks fans around me saying, like, no, it's not gonna happen. When they had that losing streak, losing by like 20 points or whatever it was, like, oh no, we done. Like, this is gonna be a one and done situation. But again, I think it's just a big credit to him sticking with that adversity. To Bobby G's point, having the experience that he's had on various NBA rosters in various situations, coaching stars, being on the assistant coaching side for championship teams, like, all of that just seemed to be a great culmination of what he's done with the Knicks. Like, Mike Brown deserves all his flowers for what he did this season.
Yep. I think he's the only coach to have coached LeBron and Kobe, if I'm not mistaken. So you coach two guys like that, and you have the early success. Remember, he came into the league, he inherited LeBron James, and was I think for the first 4 or 5 years of his career, won 60 games every year. So to come from that to fall the way he did, and just remembering back to the he was fired from Cleveland, and then the owner literally came out and said, I made a mistake in firing him, and hired him back, and then fired him after that particular season. And that literally almost ended his coaching career. To go back down, back to the assistant life, go back to San Antonio, then go to Golden State, sit under Steve Kerr, kind of reinvent himself and come back to this. If I'm happy for nothing else, I'm happy that he came out on top. So shout out to Mike Brown. And shout out to, you're spot on. I had questions about Mike being the coach of this team. It's like, I didn't know if he had learned enough, but apparently he did. He made the right calls, right adjustments all postseason, and they got the job done. Salute.
Absolutely. I know that's something that I pointed out in I love even how small it was in game 5 when he thought about putting Huck Porty in for a minute, but he peeped Luke Cornett like, hey, we know Luke Cornett moved like, I said on Twitter, he moved like year 21 Dirk. So at that point, he was like, we going small ball and we driving by this dude, we putting him out on the perimeter and we getting layups. And it led to a Jalen Brunson layup, and I think OG Anunoby ended up scoring too. So, and the Spurs had to call a timeout. Like, that's what it was. He just was really good at bouncing back and making adjustments this series.
And not panicking. Like, he didn't panic when Cat got the early fouls in game 5. He didn't panic when he picked up that 5th foul. Just handled it appropriately, and they were able to keep their composure as a team and get the job done. So that starts from the bench, from the sideline, from your coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I heard absolutely nothing of what y'all said for like the past 5 minutes, bro. I was sitting there. I was like, it just cut out. You were talking, and then it just went out, and I was like, what's going on? And I'm like here trying to like fix the settings, and then I was like, I don't want to leave without saying anything, so I was waiting for one of y'all to try to say something. But then I was like, you know what? Bobby G knows how to stream. I was like, they both know how to. Bobby G knows how to host. I'll be right back. I was like, let me get out of here and come out. So, anyways, I didn't hear anything said. So I'll just agree with everything you said. But
it's basically you were Forrest Gump when they pulled the plugs on, and that's all I have to say about that.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. So, but anyways, it was a historic comeback, right? And the reason I'm doing the Wu-Tang theme is because I would like to point out that this comeback happened after Wu-Tang performed at halftime. They were down 27.
With live vocals, mind you. Fat Joe didn't do that. Cardi B didn't do that.
I'm not going to say it was Wu-Tang that won the game, but I'm not going to say that it wasn't Wu-Tang that helped them to win this game. Not only that, I want to say something to the NBA right now. Look, I realize you don't televise most halftime performances, but when you have a legendary group such as the Wu-Tang in their home stadium in what is their last tour of their career, you might think you want to put it on some damn TV so some of us can watch. Because I know my whole group chat was like, why the hell can't we watch the performance? And if you got Pat McAfee yapping on ESPN2 anyways, show the damn halftime performance on there.
They didn't give us an option. For that. They didn't flip the bill for that.
Oh, they didn't pay the rights for the music? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know how I know this was the biggest comeback in history? They didn't have to tell me, although they kept mentioning it over and over. It's because now the Knicks, even worse, took away the Celtics, one of their best accomplishments, because we had the biggest history comeback by 24 points when we came back on the Lakers in Game 4 in 2008.
Not that fraudulent Paul Pierce. I got to go to the bathroom.
Don't you dare.
Bring me back to the court in a wheelchair.
Sir.
Oh my gosh.
Why would you do that on my why would you do that to me when I'm like looking right at you?
It's not you. I just hate Paul Pierce that much.
Well, you know what's coming. Because you know when you on this show, if you dare ever besmirch the tremendous name of Paul Anthony Pierce, also known as the Truth, I will make sure you never say bad things about him again, sir, okay? I love you, Paul. Anyways, just keep it moving. So anyways, but for real, going back to what we said, their youth really hurt them in losing those games. And the Knicks, yes, there's the effective depth that Bobby G talked about. While I think that the Spurs have a very well filled out roster and are going to, and we'll talk about this in a second, will win a championship in the future. I also believe that the Knicks just had the better team this year. And I believe also that it was a team of destiny sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like it just seemed like all year long they were going to be in the mix. And then they had their ups and downs. They had kind of a lull mid-season. Then everybody thought the Celtics were going to take it, but then, we choked it up. So they also didn't have to play the Thunder. We don't know what would have happened if they played a more experienced championship team. So, I'm not going to say that it was by any means easy, but what I'm saying is that it seemed like it was more of a destiny sort of thing to me. What would y'all say to that?
Every championship team gets a couple bounces their way, right? And you don't have to say it, I'll say it for you. If OKC would have beat the Spurs, the Knicks would have beat them too. I don't think they have a chance without a healthy Jalen Williams.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
But yeah, every championship team gets a couple bounces their way, and essentially once and it goes back to coaching again. Once Mike Brown recognized what they were doing wrong against the Hawks, why they were having such a tough time, and started to run the offense through Cat, they took off. Now, notice what's not being noticed is versus Spurs, he reverted back to what they were doing before. He took the ball out of Karl-Anthony Towns' hands to effectively, in a way, semi-neutralize Wemby on defense. Which is why you saw them moving Wemby on to other players to try and get him closer to the basket and to try and actually have him affect the ball handlers. So, they got the lucky bounces and they took advantage of every single opportunity that came their way.
Speaking of lucky bounces, how was this for a lucky bounce? OG Anunoby with the tip. Oh man, look at how far back he had to go to kind of guide that. It's like the Maradona, Diego Maradona hand of God play in soccer. That's kind of what that's like for the Knicks. They should call that the Statue of Liberty play or something like that is what they should call it. But that's good. I just made that up. I don't know. That's pretty good. Anyways, but no, they did get a lot of bounces. Look, AP, I ain't got no time for this. Okay, all right. Yes. I'm always getting trolled because my teams always suck. I don't have time for that. Shout out AP. Y'all tune in to Rec Room Sports. Let's talk sports and all the crew out there. Thank you, AP, for tuning in. Canteen, glad Brunson won MVP. Shout out to Jalen Brunson for winning the MVP as well. And Canteen has a question here for us. So let's see. Does this solidify the Knicks being the new leaders of the East? Desmond, talk to us. What do you think?
I say yes. I mean, when you hoist that Larry OB, you're the leaders until somebody knocks you off. So I'm absolutely willing to give the Knicks that title for sure.
And because I was going to ask this question anyways, Canteen. So thank you for the great segue. Here we go. Boom. Let's answer this question now. Are they going back to back? Desmond, what do you got?
That I don't know because in the recent years we have not seen back-to-back champions.
Can they be the team of the East and not win? I don't understand what you're saying to me here.
Like I still think if OKC is healthy, that's still going to be tough. And I just think that it's like because I had OKC going back-to-back this year. I thought that was set in stone.
I thought so too.
And
I was with you.
So I don't know. I'm just not as confident saying that these days because we haven't seen a lot of repeat champions. I want to give the Knicks that Eastern Conference respect, but the West is just going to be so tough still, and you never know what's going to happen this offseason either. So I'm confident enough to say that they can come out the East again. I just am a little hesitant because I'm thinking about the Western Conference.
No. I just want I had to press you a little bit, but no, I do see where you're coming from. Bobby G, do the Knicks go back to back?
Absolutely not, and they're not the clubhouse leaders in the East either. Recent history would say no to both. No team has come back to back out of the East since my Cavaliers, and we haven't had a back to back NBA champion since that Golden State Warriors team with KD. And just that's even looking at this season, like, why were the Knicks considered leaders out of the gate anyway? Because your Celtics were coming into the season injured, right? So again, we talk about, getting the bounces and that luck. Well, that was part of it. Coming into the season, the East was wide open, and then what happens? The Cavs don't play as well as they're supposed to. The Pistons come out of nowhere. Paolo Banchero regresses. The Magic fall off. It was just too many turmoil in Milwaukee. Halliburton missing the whole season. Well, all that's going to be fixed next year. Giannis could be somewhere else in the East more beneficial. Halliburton's going to be back.
We'll talk about that.
Hopefully the Cavs. We were just as injured as the Celtics. Our starting lineup played less than 15 games together and didn't even play together until March.
And does James Harden come back? Is he still under contract?
He's gonna opt out of his deal. We'll probably re-sign him to a little bit less so we can get under the second apron and make a potential move. Okay. The Hawks are going to be improved. The Hornets are going to be improved. Like, it's just going to be more difficult next season than it was this season. So, it'll be tough.
Yeah, no, I agree completely with both of these gentlemen. They could be the leaders in the clubhouse right now because, as Desmond said, if you win the chip, you are the best team at that year. But Bobby G just mentioned a bunch of teams in the East. And, I mean, we didn't even talk about the West, where you have, all of the West teams at least, where you're looking at, Denver and Minnesota and so on and so forth. So, no, it doesn't happen. They have had now, as Bobby G mentioned, the last was Golden State. They've been 8 new champions every year, 8 in a row. So I don't know when the next time a back-to-back was going to happen. I thought I was going to see it with my Celtics, and then I thought we were going to see it with the Thunder. The Celtics got hurt. The Thunder didn't get through. So I guess we ain't going to probably see it because I don't think it's going to be the Knicks either. But anyways, that being said, one thing that, and I just got to bring this up, it's nothing to do with politics or anything, but the fact that the only game they lost was the one that Donald Trump went to when a lot of fans were prevented from being in the stands just tells you all you need to know. And I'm just going to leave it at that. We don't need to get into politics. But James Dolan, you a fool for that because you almost cost your team the damn championship. I thought they had the Trump. I called it. You got Trump. It was a Trump jinx. I was the Trump sports jinx. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, you fools. Anyways, talking about the Spurs though, let's move it on. By the way, sports professor stat for that game 3 that we talked about, it was the highest television audience for a game 3 in more than 25 years. It peaked at 26.3 million and averaged 23.8 million viewers. It was the best since, when Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, Utah Jazz series that we all know about, the famed series we know about. So there's your sports pitch stat for that. Let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs. What about the San Antonio Spurs? Obviously, we talked earlier about possibly does De'Aaron Fox even come back? They've got a lot of questions to answer on their team but they do have a lot of good young players that are also under contract. So what do we think about the San Antonio Spurs? More my question is going to be, how many championships can the San Antonio Spurs win? So, Bobby G, we'll start with you.
It depends on who gets in Victor Wembanyama's ear and tells him you're not going to win anything until you get a post game. That was one of the biggest reasons why they did not win this year and why I felt they couldn't win. Like, he's in a. There was this thing. I'm old school, and I went to school in the inner city. If there was a guy at your school like 6'5", 6'6", he was going to play center because normally that dude.
Right.
But, normally that dude was the tallest dude in the school.
Fact,
the problem with that is when he gets those stats up and he goes off to college, they're going to say, okay, here's that ball on the wing. I need you to go to work. And he's going to have no clue what to do because he's never been taught how to dribble the ball. He's been the tallest dude ever since. Wemby's like the opposite of that, right? He's so tall and has these great skills that every coach is like, oh, you could do this. We're going to have you do this. And nobody taught him in post game. Plus, that's not the European game anyway. So now you get to the NBA. Guess what? There's about 70 big men who are maybe not as tall, but they're just as athletic and a little bit stronger than you. You can't blow by every big man. And we saw that show. Yeah, Hardenstein, I'm taking care of you. Rudy, I'm taking care. I've been blowing by Rudy Gobert my whole life. But you can't blow by Cat. You can't blow by Karl Anthony Towns. He's just as athletic. You can't blow by what's my man? Why did I get his name? Rich. You can't blow by him. He's Mitch Robinson. He's just as athletic as you are, and so he's going to have to get a post. I don't care if it's just one move. If you can do one post move, but where we can get, hey, we missed 2 threes in a row. Here, Wemby, get us one. That's all he needs. That's all he needs. Just one post move where they can say, get us a bucket, and he can get that bucket for sure. But since he learns that, hey, it's up for the NBA.
I mean, I agree completely with you. You cannot be the best player in the league if your game is not fully rounded out, and that includes at your size being able to play in the post. Shout out to our brother Walker Mar, who mentioned, the unpolishedness of him now. Shout out to you for talking about this last week on my show where we talked about the post move that he doesn't have. And you're right. If he doesn't get a well-rounded game and use your fucking 7'4", 7'5", whatever the hell you are, and stick your ass down the paint and learn a damn sky hook like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or just stand on top of people and just dunk because you can reach the damn rim anyways without having to jump. Desmond, get me before I get pissed off.
No, I am right with Bobby G, man. And honestly, the Spurs have a decent checklist to look at this offseason. Like, if you're Wemby, you're thinking about those things. What can I do that is not talent-based but skill-based? That's going to help me in these situations going more into the future. And even that, right? Like, we've been saying this the last few years, how Wemby is in a perfect position to make the skyhook cool again, and he just doesn't want to do that because that's just not what the game is. But it's like, to all of us, we're like, dude, you're sitting on a gold mine right here. You can make this cool for kids.
Unstoppable.
Like, but I think it's Wemby focusing on those things, his stamina, strength, all of that. I think the next thing would be figuring out if you really want to maintain that 3-guard lineup with Fox and Harper and Castle, because let's be real, Dylan Harper is looking like you're gonna have to start him next season. And if you're De'Aaron Fox, you don't necessarily want to take that 6-man role unless he's of the notion like, hey, I don't mind sacrificing if it means we do get jewelry in the future. So that's something that they got to monitor. And if they don't, what do you do with De'Aaron Fox? Because the other thing is that the Spurs were, height-wise, they were a small basketball team. So it's like, when Luke Cornett's struggling and Wemby's tired, you don't really have any other taller bodies to rely on. Keldon Johnson is 6'5". Devin Vassell is 6'5". Harrison Barnes wasn't even in the rotation anymore. So what are you doing at that 4 spot? And something that I've talked to in my circle is like, what Wemby might need a big man next to him. He might need somebody to help him get these rebounds that he's not getting, because a lot of those times Wemby was going up with one arm, and you can't do that versus Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns, these old school bigs who are going to get that thing with 2 hands. So I think Wemby, the Spurs might have to decide who they want to pair with Wemby in the front court, who's a legit forward or even a center, and make Wemby play the 4.
Just make him play the 4. Yeah. Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I'm saying I agree 100%. I mean, his frame says, you want to put him in center, but his game is power forward.
Yeah. And look, man, I know threes are the way that the kids want to play ever since Steph Curry came in and made it possible. But your ass is 7 foot tall, and don't nobody want to see your ass going out to the damn 3-point line every time. We already get mad enough when Karl Anthony Towns zesty ass does it at 6'10". You think we ain't gonna get mad at you and you 7'5"? Get the hell up out of here, son. What are you talking about? So, All right. How many championships can the Spurs win? We didn't answer this. Desmond, give me a number.
Oh my gosh. If it was like 20 years ago, I feel like I would say 5. But in this era, I would say like 2. Okay. I just feel like it's going to be back and forth with the Thunder. And then you never know who, like kind of what we talked about earlier with the Knicks, if it kind of just seemed like destiny would have it and they kind of, got a little Disney magic to get in there. You never know who's going to do that. Like, is Edwards going to have that kind of run? Is Jokic going to get another one? Like, you just never know who might emerge and just fit. Because even when it came to Kobe and Tim Duncan, there was a little pocket Dirk got his, and there was another pocket where D Wade got his, even though opposite conferences. But still, like, you just never know who might sneak in and get theirs. And I just think I don't see it being that high for the Spurs because it's just going to be so much competition. So I'm going to play it a little safer and say 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is more than that. But I'm just going to be safe and say 2.
That's hilarious because when I was thinking of my answer, that's exactly how I thought of it. I was like, if this was back in the day, I'd say 5 too. I was like, damn, I'd say at least 4 or 5. But yeah, nowadays, you're right. We talked about the parity that exists in the league and how much competition there is from year to year. And yeah, I completely agree that, I don't think they'll necessarily win 5, but I do think they'll win multiple. I don't think Wemby's going to go home with less than 2. I don't think that. Bobby G, what you got?
I'm going to say 3. The Spurs are one of the best run organizations in basketball. So I think they'll find a way to keep the championship level caliber talent around Wemby. But the reason I say 3 is it's too much movement today. Like if this was the old school NBA where I know that this Knicks starting 5 is going to be Knicks starting 5 for like the next 6 seasons. Yeah, but it's just too much move. Like the Knicks could literally have a whole new starting 5 next season, right? If they wanted to. OKC could end up with Giannis. The Lakers are going to steal somebody's superstar. Like these things are just going to happen. So
as the day is bright, my friend, the Lakers will have some conspiracy to fucking get a star player.
Yeah, they don't draft players. They just wait till you get good and they say, hey, come get this bag in LA.
God bless.
Yeah, but the Spurs are just too well run to not get at least 1, but I think they can get 3. I think he'll become good enough he can force 3.
Okay. And does De'Aaron Fox stay? Answer that question, Bobby G.
Next season?
Yeah, they keep him or they trade him?
If I were the GM, I would only trade him for a center to put next to Wemby. Okay. Other than that, I keep him, but he comes off the bench. Next year, Dylan Harper will start. He will start.
That's what you were saying, Desmond, right? So you agree with that then?
Yeah, I think that De'Aaron Fox, I think they do keep him around because, that's kind of what's been the underlying opinion here when it comes to some of the hate that he's been getting the last few days is that De'Aaron Fox really did he really was the one dude that was like running the team. I didn't necessarily get the same impact from Stephon Castle. Like Stephon Castle, I always say is like you snap your fingers and he's just impactful. Like you blink, he's got a couple rebounds, couple assists, couple putbacks, steals. Dylan Harper was very similar, like just spark plug. Like a lot of people were saying like, oh, absolutely, Dylan Harper needed to stay in that game. But I was kind of like, well, what else is he doing that's not scoring? Like so much of it was scoring for him. And I felt like De'Aaron Fox just had a better combination of running the offense and being able to get to a shot for himself, even if it wasn't always successful. So I think with that, until Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle can show that they are like true floor generals out there, then they might move on from De'Aaron Fox, or like I said, just keep him as a 6th man. But for the time being, I do think he stays.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, right? Try to keep the consistency with the team that you already have. Their books are clean. Victor Wembanyama has 1 more year on his rookie deal before the Supermax kicks in. Stephon Castle has 2 more years on his rookie deal. Dylan Harper, obviously a rookie or second-year player, has 3 years left. So, they've got young players. Now they do have to worry about Keldon Johnson, who has only one more year. What they're going to do with him? Do they want to trade him? Do they want to, sign him to an extension? At some point, that money is going to come into play before they kick into that first apron. But I agree with you. Right now, when you have those clean of books, you continue with the continuity of the team that you have because you did get so close, and you do just need a couple moves here and there, whether that be a center, whether that be a power forward, whatever it may be. You just need a couple tweaks to hopefully get you, to that point where you just get over that hump and win the championship. Maybe next year the things fall into place like it did for, the Knicks this year, like it did for the Thunder last year, like it did for the Celtics the year before, like it has for every one of these championship teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Shane Peacher, thank you for tuning in, my brother. Says the series was Wemby's heel turn. A little wrestling parlance for you. Shout out to Shane Peach. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Oh, there he is. There's the Knicks fan that I first hit up and said, fuck you, you're Knicks, but I love you. I still love you. Congratulations, my brother. I'm happy that you're happy, but I'm not happy that it was the Knicks. But I love you. Shout out my brother Jason. And then Alan, look, it's not a baseball show. I don't have time for this, okay? We'll talk baseball next week. We got our baseball show next Monday. Y'all tune in. Me and Alan Perales will be talking baseball with a mole. Carmen Burchell, 6045, says congratulations to the Knicks. Thank you for tuning in. And everybody tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. Helps us out in the algorithm. Make sure you tap in with everybody here. Ball and Buds, 19 Media Group, Audible Sports Podcast. All right. So a couple notes before we move on, because I want to get to the Knicks side of things. We need to say one thing about the Rockets passed up on Stephon Castle, by the way. I just wanted to mention that, and took Reed Shepherd as well. Imagine had they have gone the other way. But that's just another side note that I had thought about when I was there. But let's talk about the Knicks. What do the Knicks need to do in the offseason to try to make sure that they do go back-to-back? Because, again, we've had 8 different champions the last 8 years. We've thought that there was going to be repeats. There has not. So the Knicks have done a very impressive job of putting this roster together, going out and getting Karl Anthony Towns, going out and stealing Jalen Brunson. I don't know how they only got a second-round pick taken away for that illegal tampering that they did. But, again, the Knicks and the Lakers always getting everything. Oh, here we go. NBA. Fucking bullshit. Celtics did it the right way. We ain't never get no damn conspiracy cheating to win our champion. Anyways, let's stop. The Knicks, they drafted Robinson. They went and got Brunson, Shamet, Clarkson, but those two are both on one-year deals. They traded for Hart, Anunoby, Towns, Bridges, Alvarado. Crazy GM work right there. Their Knicks should have their starting 5. I know you said earlier they could have a whole new one. They should be able to keep their starting 5 because their books are okay because Towns picks up his $61 million extension in 27-28. So we'll see what happens at that point in time. But what do y'all think about the Knicks and in this offseason and what they may need to do to try to go back-to-back?
That is.
I think, as crazy as it sounds, like, have a good summer, but don't have too much fun. Like, you don't want to get
do what my boy Jason is doing. Look, he said he's still drunk.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Like, if you step into next season too high on what happened last year, these teams, again, the Celtics, maybe even the Cavs, like a lot of these East teams, the Pistons, if they do something this offseason, like, they're going to be coming for them. They're going to be coming for them. And again, the way that the game of basketball is, you're not going to win the same way you did the year before. You got to throw all that away. Like, if let's say they do make the finals this time, it might have to be a little bit more aggression from Karl Anthony Towns. We saw it in the first few games, and then after that, it was more about his presence than how he was scoring. Like, it's gonna be different either way. So I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you gotta be careful because you just won a championship in New York of all places. You don't want to have too much fun where you just next year just sloppy as heck. So that's my thing with the Knicks.
Bing bong. Holla at me, BG.
For me, I'm just looking at even though we won, where do we struggle? I'm looking to upgrade the backup point guard position because ball handling became an issue at a lot of points during the series. Mitchell Robinson.
I love my Boricua, Jose Alvarado, but he's not the greatest ball, protector, so to speak.
And in the words of Stephen A. Smith, when it comes to half court defense, he's miniature. So you can't have two miniature guards out there at the same time when you're going against the Spurs and the Thunders of the world. So upgrade that position. I would like to keep Jose on the roster, though. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, no. You love him as a player, no doubt.
Yeah, but I don't keep him. I'm looking to probably upgrade for Mitchell Robinson. It didn't come to this in the finals, but if you watch that cast, like we went to the Hackett Robinson strategy like early and often. So we were in a position where that came into play. The Spurs avoided it. They weren't in foul trouble at the right times, which allowed him to be on the floor. But I can't have you on the floor if you shoot 26% from the free throw line, my guy.
Right.
Yeah. So he may have played his last game as a Knick, which isn't a bad thing. And again, I'm gonna get one more ball handler out there at the wing position. So to just to make that a non-issue. Like we saw the pressure was effective and it did bother them. They were they got away with it this time. But like Desmond said, you're not gonna win the same way next year. So you gotta plug those holes while you can.
Now they do still have Jalen Brunson, who brought him back a lot in this series, so they always have him to lean on. But you're right, you got to have the correct depth and plug those holes. Desmond.
But as Bobby G was talking, somebody that I would want to see take a leap and get an opportunity just because he's still in house is Mohamed Diawara. I would want to see that. I know he's on the wing, but I think as we've seen in recent years in the NBA, some guys just finally get their opportunity when they're developed, and especially being on a roster like this. I think for him being alongside and learning from guys like OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, especially defensively, like he's got some pretty good examples of how to be impactful on offense and on defense at the same time. So if, let's say, the Knicks were to have to sacrifice maybe some guard play, they would still have somebody like him who's like the prototypical player that you want on your team, like a 6'8", 6'9" wing, who's able to knock down threes. I believe he was over 40% from 3-point this year. So I want to see somebody like him get an opportunity if that opens up for him.
Fair.
No, I like that. I like that pick a lot. Before we move on from this game and talk a little bit of news that came out today, I do want to say, Jason, you're one of my brothers, and I know you would never act up. So I know you're staying stable out there while you're having a good time partying. But to the Knicks fans in the streets, we need to have a word. Disgusting. Horrendous. Look, I don't even care if you destroy a school bus. I really don't. They got money in the city. They can pay for that shit. They waste a lot of money on other stupid shit. I don't care. I don't care that you did that. I don't care that you the taxi cab was kind of bad because someone got to pay for that taxi, but they rent those taxis anyways. So I don't even care about that. But when you start trying to beat up other fans for doing nothing other than wearing a jersey of another team, when you even pretend like you're going to light some dude's hair on fire because he's wearing a Spurs jersey, if you think that y'all are going to jump people 50-1 because they're wearing a Spurs jersey, y'all are tripping hard. And the problem is a lot of that came after wins, which God forbid it would have been a damn loss. We might not have New York City around no more. I'm going to get off my soapbox because I have a lot more shit I could talk about Knicks fans. And this is why I hate the Knicks and their fans, because of stupid shit like this. But I'm going to let more level-headed people speak right now. Anybody got thoughts?
It's nothing to say. What it was discussing. Like, I know the word, fan is short for fanatics, but let's be real, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always say everybody thinks they Billy Badass until they run into Billy Badass. And there's one video out there, this Spurs fan, this dude, man.
That dude was
300 pounds. He's
like
taking on
no one
city.
fucking with him. The whole city was just backing up. He was like,
So you keep running up on them skinny dudes. But it shouldn't even come to that, man. You won. You got your chip. Like, just celebrate, man. Just celebrate. Sports is supposed to be a unifier, not a divider.
I can't imagine going to another city to watch a basketball game to go see my team, and all of a sudden I'm getting beat up outside the stadium just because I'm wearing a jersey. I've been to Kansas City as a Raiders fan, and I didn't get beat up. Actually, they cooked me barbecue afterwards because they're such nice people in Kansas City. Yeah, that dude was a wild heavyweight, though, Canteen. You're right. Desmond, you got anything on that?
No home training. No home training. It was a reminder. It was a reminder that the New York is still one of the dirtiest cities. And not just pollution, but personality too. Like that's just and I know that doesn't go for all New York Knicks fans. Shout out to the New York folks. But man, you can't be acting like that. You guys said it best. Like that's just not what sports is about. And I mean, come on, they not paying you a dime. You don't need to be acting like that. Like even if they were, you don't need to be
you
doing
ain't even getting paid.
Exactly.
Like y'all are on camera. You know they're going to come back and get you for that school bus. You don't think they're going to let you go for that, right? All y'all on camera, right? Dumbasses. Anyways, looking at the NBA title odds for next season, the Spurs and the Thunder are tied at 250. And the Celtics are at plus 550. The Knicks are at plus 700. No other team is even close. The Nuggets and the Pacers are next at 2,800. So the odds makers in Vegas, over where you're at, BG, have the Spurs, Thunder, Celtics, and Knicks, one of those four winning next year as a pretty much lock at this point. So, but there is one subject I wanted to talk about before we got out. Today, there was news about Giannis Antetokounmpo wanting to go to Miami, and that Miami is in heavy pursuit. So what do we think? Is Giannis going to go to Miami? Desmond, talk to us.
I don't have a lot of faith in the Heat for that one. They've missed out on a lot of guys the last few seasons. I don't have faith that they can get that done, and especially like it's just so many conflicting reports. Like one minute you're hearing that Giannis wants to be a little bit more in a homegrown situation that's not Milwaukee, and then it's like all these big cities or like warm cities like Miami, which again I think that was something he might have said too, where he said, oh well, at least allegedly, that he did want to go to a warm city, which being, if you around the central area, that makes sense. But I just don't trust the Miami Heat to get that done. I would love it for them to finally get somebody, but I don't know. I think we talked about that before. Like I would much rather see him with Anthony Edwards. I would much rather see him. I know Bobby G said the Jazz last time. Like I'm still hype off that, hoping that there's a possibility for that, because that sounds more exciting. Like especially as they're an up and coming team in the Western Conference. Like I don't have a lot of faith in the Heat to get that done.
I'm with you. Giannis, call D Wade. There's a reason why D Wade owns a piece of the Jazz versus the Heat. There's a reason why his back of his basketball card does not read Miami all the way down. Pat Riley is king down there, and whatever he says goes. If you can't handle what's going on in Milwaukee when things are bad, you damn sure ain't gonna be able to handle it down in South Beach when it's bad. Well, I mean, you may be able to handle the view, but Giannis is a family man. He's a family man. So
I think you've been talking to Stephen A too much. That's what I think about this warm weather. Look, I mean, go ahead. Oh, sorry, BG. I didn't mean to step on you. You done?
I was saying this is the same. We're talking about he wants to go to big. This is the same dude that after he won MVP at the NBA Finals, took those trophies and went to the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A. This is that guy. Like, just look for the best situation. If it's about winning, look for that situation. If it's about you're off the court, like, then look for that situation. But just be clear in what you want, and as long as you can live with the results, who am I to judge?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I know Milwaukee is probably a pretty cold place. I've never been, but I assume how far north it is pretty cold in the winter, at least. I understand Miami is a very nice place to be. Not if you're a family man, though. But if you're not and you're single like me, it's a very, very nice place to be. That being said, I think you need to look for BG said, your best situation. Now, could that still be in Miami? I think Miami has a good, at least, base of a team that they can build into. Now, granted, you don't
what are you giving up?
I mean, not Trips J, not my brother Jaime Jaquez Jr., who may be the next big
might
star
have to.
No, I don't know. I can't. No, I can't. Nope. I can't have Giannis and Triple J next to each other. Nah, we ain't running. We ain't running. Yeah, just so go somewhere else. I don't know. Give him Kyle Lowry. Is he still there? I don't even know where he
Not
is.
Kyle Lowry.
Where he still been?
You want Kyle Lowry from 2 years or 3 years?
I don't even know if he's in the league no more. But no, I can see it just because Pat Riley can get done if he wants to. I know you mentioned he's missed a couple times, and he has missed a little bit over the past few years. And yeah, you got to win, like BG said, or he's going to hold your butt to the fire as he did with LeBron. That's why they didn't get 6, 7, 8, 9 as he did with Jimmy Butler, so on and so forth. So yeah, you're gonna run into a buzzsaw that is Pat Riley. Giannis, you got to be willing to put up with that. But I mean, if Pat Riley really wants him and Giannis is down to go, I could see it happening. So we'll see what happens. Canteen, Giannis, be politically correct. Select somewhere you have a balance of family and basketball. Facts. I mean, again, Utah. That's just we're still talking about that, but I mean that could be a team as well. Again, what do you give up, kind of thing? But
it's easy. I'm giving you Ace Bailey. I'm giving you Larry Markkinen. I'm not giving you 2. I'm giving you future first rounders.
Okay.
And so I'm still drafting AJ DeBanza.
Okay.
Well, you keeping Kessler too?
It's a great point, though.
Yeah, I don't have to. If I can give you 3 future firsts, keeping this, and I'm giving you the second pick from last year, and Lauri Markkinen to make the money work. That's solid. I feel that's a solid offer.
And the thing with the Milwaukee side too, a lot of people saying it's like the Tyler Hero thing. Like that's where he's from, so that seems like the easy choice. And then I still feel like a lot of the mock trades with Giannis and like the Heat, or even like the Jaylen Brown and the Heat thing, like it's just giving up like Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, like defensive players that Giannis would need. And I don't know if Bam Adebayo is as reliable as a stretch 5, specifically for 3-point shooting, as somebody that would need to be with Giannis. That would be something too. So again, I'm on board. If it's not Minnesota, I would love to see that Utah situation. I just feel like no matter what they come up with, they could make something where you're like, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, hey, everybody, we really appreciate y'all tuning in. We will be back in a couple weeks. We're going to do a full season review, talk the draft, and some other things. That'll be that first week of July. So we got to talk about what. Yes.
One more. Does Spike deserve a ring?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Yeah, at the very least.
Yeah. And they've been out there. I don't know if it's a ring.
I know they got a bunch of celebrities like Chalamet, who was partying with them in the locker room, but he ain't even been there like 3 years. Yeah. All right. Now I know you got the other long timers, Tracy Morgan, Ben Stiller, stuff like that. But Spike has been the ultimate fan. He always wearing the colors. He's always talking Knicks, even when he's not there. You see him at every game. He don't just show up for the playoffs. Yes, that man better get a fucking ring.
Yeah, straight up.
I mean, damn. Well, how much does it cost you to give him a ring? An extra $20,000. That man brings you millions of promotions every year just by sitting his face in your stands.
No,
James Dolan is a dumbass though, so he probably messed that up anyways too. So, James Dolan, stop screwing the Knicks up. I like it. Keep screwing them up. All right. Anyways, 2 weeks from now, we'll be back. Hopefully have the other brothers with us as well. Shout out to the Baseline NBA podcast, Warren Shaw, Cal Lee. Y'all tap in with them, our brothers as well. And as well, Unfair Sports, Jay, tap in with him as well. He wasn't able to make it with us tonight. And as well, Mel and Man Down Sports, y'all tap in with them as well. Shout out to everybody. Desmond, let them know where they can find you.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to join you guys and talk ball. At Desmond Powell _ Twitter, Instagram, at MidPostPod, same platforms. Also at Desmond Powell _ on TikTok. Of course, the 19 Media Group YouTube channel. Shout out to my guys. Shout out to the home team and everybody over there. Every episode drops on Tuesday. Obviously, it's the off season now, so I'll probably be bouncing around with different topics. But for the most part, 19 Media Group YouTube channel to be updated and see any uploads for that.
There you go. 19 Media Group. Salute to our partners out there. We appreciate y'all. Bob E.G., let them know where they can find you.
In the winner's circle. But if I'm not there, you can catch me right there. YouTube at GameTime_216 at YouTube at Audible Sports Podcast or at Audible Podcast Sports Podcast. One of them, man. Just search the Audible Podcast.
I need you. I'm gonna need you to know your social media handle. Come on now. Don't disappoint me like that.
Or Thursdays, every Thursday with the Rec Room Sports Group, Rec Room Radio on ESPN Jacksonville, 6:90 a.m. from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So
yes, sir.
Of course, here with the homie, Sports Professor Omar. Shout out. Appreciate you having me, man. And shout out to OG Ananobi, my new hero. Saved my steak dinner.
We going sizzler. We going sizzler.
We going Hell's Kitchen. That's where we're going. Really going.
Ooh, very nice. Bobby G, I decided I'm going to do a Professor Seminole Mente tonight. Want to join me?
I got you. Check on this dinner situation.
Desmond, you are more than welcome to join us as well if you'd like. I don't know if you talk more than NBA. We're going to talk baseball, hockey, UFC, all kinds of stuff. So you're more than welcome to join us. I can send you the link, but I don't know if you do that.
Okay, I appreciate the invite. I haven't watched baseball in so long, to be honest. But I know you said this in the past. I can definitely jump on the hip hop conversation though. We can definitely.
Oh, we're definitely going to do that soon.
Yeah.
No, we're going to get that. We're going to get a show together soon on that one. All right, my brother. Well, salute. Appreciate you coming on. Hey, y'all check me and BG out at 7:30. He has to go check dinner. I need to go get myself a microwave burrito because I'm single and a bachelor and I have no food in my house. So that's what I'm eating. We'll see you in 20 minutes at Ball and Buds. Thank y'all for tuning in. Salute.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair fake it flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated folk. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.